everyone, welcome back to Decorate with Dana. Today's video I have two DIY projects I wanted to share with you for spring. The first one, I am making a tulip wreath, and I'm using these tulip bushes that I got from Michael's and a grapevine wreath that I also got from Michael's. And the second DIY project I am doing are painted book stacks with the stamped bindings. So I just wanted to share with you guys these DIYs. You know, one is very spring inspired and the other one is kind of vintage farmhouse inspired. So I hope you guys enjoy these. So we're going to start off with the tulip wreath. And I purchased a 14-inch grapevine wreath from Michael's. And I purchased, I think it was 14 of these tulip bushes also from Michael's. And then here I'm just cutting them off into groups of about 3 tulips, 2 or 3 tulips. And some of them I'm leaving the leaves on and some of them I'm taking the leaves off. After I have them all cut off, I'm going to intertwine them into the grapevine wreath and adding some hot glue occasionally to make sure that everything stays in place. You'll see how I'm doing it as I go on with the video. Here's how the wreath came out when I was all done. I absolutely think this is gorgeous. And I mean, I'll still play with it because there's some areas I could fluff and everything, but the grapevine wreath itself, none of them are very uniform. They're not perfectly circular. So it's a little hard to get a perfectly circular wreath using a grapevine wreath, but that's okay. I absolutely love this. And I just had to make sure as I went through that I stopped and kept paying attention to the coloring, that I kind of was mixing all the colors in. I didn't want it to be too much of one color in one area. So I think this is beautiful. I don't do a ton of color inside. I do a little bit, but this will be gorgeous on my front porch on the screen door. So I think this turned out so good, and it was so easy to do. I got everything at Michael's. Now, I did hear that you could get from the Dollar Tree tulips. I did stop and I didn't find any. Mine didn't have any. So I just went over to Michael's. The bunches were, I think, $2, but then, and I got 14 bunches, but I ended up having an additional 20% off coupon. So I think I made the whole thing for around $22, which I don't think is that bad. I mean, wreaths already done at Michael's can be outrageously expensive, and I like Michael's had a bunch of different colors of tulips, so you could make this however you want. I went with pinks, but they had purples and greens and reds and just all different colors, so you could really just customize this to however you want it to be. So anyways, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So what I'm going to need for the stamped binding books are 3 different books, different various sizes. Even if I haven't, I can't remember if I've read both of these, I may have, but even if I didn't, I can still read them. Just because I'm painting the outside doesn't mean I can't read them. And then these stamps, these are the lowercase letter stamps that I got at Michael's. They're all gonna fall out, but I'll just show you. Found these at Michael's. And then I just have an ink pad, some foam brushes, and then I'm going to use up the rest of this chalk. Well, not the rest, but I'm going to use this chalk paint by Bear. And this is what I used to paint the desk actually in my office, but I just have it left, so I'm going to use that up. And then once the books are all painted and stamped, I'll decorate it possibly with this ribbon or this raffia. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet. So let's get started. I'm going to start by painting first the bindings of the books, let those dry, and then I'll do the outsides. So I start out with these 3 books. That one is a lot smaller that I'm painting here first. It had a really glossy cover, and the paint was just taking forever to fully cover. So I did end up switching that book out for another one of a similar size to the other 2. After putting approximately 3 coats of paint on the bindings of the books, I picked out the quote that I wanted to stamp on mine, and Live, Laugh, Love happens to be one of my favorite quotes, so I knew I wanted to put that on mine. So I'm going to go ahead and start stamping that one word on each book. This part does not need to be perfect at all. That is what gives it the vintage antique kind of look. After I was done, I just wanted to measure the ribbon to go all the way around the books, and then I was going to hot glue gun it. I didn't want to glue it directly to the books in case I wanted to change out the ribbon for different seasons. After that, I'm going to tie some raffia around to add a little bit more decoration to it, and that'll be it. So this is how the books turned out. I think this is adorable, and I like that I can change out the ribbon or the raffia to whatever I want for different seasons. I think this looks vintage and really just adorable, and it's not supposed to look perfect, and it doesn't, but that's what I like, and that's what gives it the vintage antique kind of look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some inspiration or some ideas of maybe things you would like to try for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.